You're watching Virginia This Morning.
All right, good morning to another look at the weather. We'll show you a few other things here as well. We're looking at cloudy skies to mostly cloudy skies, maybe a little bright spot here and there, but the airport reporting clouds, 71 degrees, dew point of 65. We still have a little bit of a northeasterly component into the atmosphere, and that's going to keep some of the clouds around today. And our temperatures are generally in the 60s and 70s, low 70s in Petersburg and Richmond, 70s east, 60s back to the west and north, 66 right now. Back into Louisa. We'll pull out and we're noticing not a lot of heat. We're not looking at any major warm-ups or heat waves. We're going to start to get closer to average, which is still around 87 or a couple degrees above that. And we'll start that as we go into around Thursday this week. But up to the north, things are kind of cooling off as expected. Today around here, we'll see highs into the lower 80s for several hours from around 3 p.m. through around 5. We'll have the 80-degree range, 70s then into the evening. And tonight we'll drop back into the 60s, probably the mid to upper 60s in most cases overnight tonight. All right, we have some clouds, a couple sprinkles or light showers possible today. We won't see a lot, but the chance will be there as we still have that easterly component. But the bigger feature is going to be this cold front arriving tomorrow. So today we're not looking at a lot of showers, but as I mentioned, a little drizzle, a light shower is still possible, even though it's not showing up on here. It's tomorrow that we'll start to focus on then. We'll have that cold front that's out to the west pull through. We can see by 2 o'clock in the afternoon into around 4, it's going to pick up a little strength. It'll have a little more humidity to work with tomorrow, and those showers and storms move through into the afternoon and early evening. Between around 4 and 7 p.m. seems like our best chance to pick those up tomorrow. They move away and dissipate by tomorrow evening as they get closer to the Chesapeake Bay. Looking at the 7-day forecast, as I mentioned, the average is 87, so you see we get around 87 to slightly above for a few days, and then back to the mid to upper 80s as we get into next week with 60s for your overnight low temperatures. Guys, over to you.
I can't believe that we're already at the unofficial end of summer. Labor Day weekend.
I don't recognize the end of summer. Here's something we do know a little bit about. Economists recently surveyed by the National Association for Business Economics expect a recession here in the United States by 2021.
Richmond money expert J.B. Bryan is here with 5 ways you can protect your finances if there is an economic slowdown. Good morning, J.B. Good to see you.
It's great to be here. Good morning, Bill and Shirley.
Good morning. First thing I wanted you to do was explain what is a recession.
Well, from an economist's perspective, it's different than how we see the recession individually or personally, which is most important because there's many economists that say after 2 consecutive quarters of a slowing of the economy, then we're in a recession. But from our personal perspective, which is most important, what does it feel like to you when you're in a recession, or when you feel or when you see it's harder for you to pay your bills, when you're scared about the security of your job, when you see many of your friends losing their job, when you see the value of your home or your assets, your portfolio going lower quarter after quarter, that you're definitely in poor or slowing economic times. My philosophy is that it's inevitable, that if it's next quarter, if it's 2 quarters, or if it's 4 years or 5 years, we have to prepare ourselves financially for different times at all time that we need to be secure. And that's why our discussions are always so helpful for people at home, because we're really putting them in the offense versus defense. Because in 2007, 2008, and then what is now considered the Great Recession, when we were in it, we really weren't sitting talking about how terrible the economy is. So what I think that we need to spend more time doing is having conversations like this about how do I prepare myself today for the worst case scenario.
Well, let's get into some of those points.
All right, so I would say, and I know that somebody's out there saying it, quit talking about it, because you're bringing it on.
That's right.
Yeah, and I know that there are people thinking that, but we got to talk about it because we got to be ready. And it is a natural cycle.
But our talking about it doesn't bring it on. Okay. But we do feel that way because you see the news and they go, oh, but no, it really doesn't. What it does bring on is people being more careful, so maybe they will stop wasting their money, which is one of the suggestions, is to just be more careful about your spending. So if it does slow down, consumer spending and we start saving more, at the same time, that's a good economic indicator when people do save more. So we can't really make up a recession in our mind. When businesses, it's real, when businesses stop hiring people, when unemployment rate numbers do go higher, you cannot create a personal recession unless you just decide to stop working and you don't have any income anymore by your own willing. You did it to yourself.
And that's one of your points that you make is try to make more money.
That's right. Another one is to increase your income sources that by maybe renting out a room in your home and not allowing so many spaces of your home to just be there sitting empty. And that is real. You bring in an additional $400 a month, say from renting your space or renting out your basement, that can be a great additional source of income. Also, be careful when you decide to just jump from job to job. Seriously consider the security of the next job position, because you may get major offers for great opportunities of income. I was talking to a young lady yesterday about that. You have a great opportunity for income, but right now you're working with a major corporation with great benefits. So let's be careful when you switch from what you need with 3 kids, for stability into something that doesn't offer the benefits and the stability that you need, especially if these economists are right that within the next 2 years, things will be different.
Go into things with your eyes open.
Pretty much all of the ideas that we're talking about today would be good common sense anytime.
Yes.
Not just as we're hearing about a recession on the horizon.
But people get excited when their portfolios are constantly going up and you get into a mentality that you think it never will go down. And I remember that because I've been in financial services so long. I remember after the new millennium, when there was like everything's going to end at the new millennium, and then 2000, and we went into 2001 in the market, everything was great. And it was like, wow, we lived through the new millennium. So I think that now the young people who never had to worry about 2007, 2008, they may have been in high school, and now they're deep into their careers. They can't imagine things slowing down. They can't imagine having to move out of their home because both of them lost their job. So, so now when you have double income, be more careful about living up to your means. Start saving more.
The reality of it, and one of the other points you say is avoid credit cards and loans because that money may not be there to pay for it.
Avoid credit cards, loans, any type of additional debt. Anyway, I always say debt freedom is your best way, unless you're talking about doing loans for business purposes. So all debt is not bad if you're using it to create additional income. But for consumer debt, we have to be very cautious of that and protect your credit score. That is very important. So many people now are still struggling with credit scores because of what happened during the last recession. Pay your bills on time. Don't create bills that you cannot pay, no matter how many offers that you get. The financial institutions are being very aggressive about sending out new credit card offers, but be conscious of that. Be aware. A senior citizen I was talking with yesterday lowered all of her limits on her credit cards, thinking that was a good move, and it brought down her credit score. I said, no, what you want to do is make sure that what you have that you owe on the card is farther from the amount of credit limit. Definitely protect your credit score.
We really appreciate you, JB.
Thank you. And JB Bryan offers free money webinars Wednesday at noon and Sunday evenings. You'll find a link to more information on how to get to JB at WTBR.com/VTN.